So I bought my first pair of climbing shoes. And I want to be really clear about something before we start. This is not a review. I am not qualified to review anything. This is a confession, although I'll admit up front, one with a surprisingly happy ending. I spent $150. I walked out of that shop feeling like an actual climber, and about 11 minutes into my next session, I was sitting on a bench, one shoe off, realizing I had bought completely the wrong thing. This is a story about ego, $150, and the single most beautiful sentence a shop can say to a panicking beginner. We'll get there. Here's the thing. In the last video, I did the whole cost breakdown, and I worked out that buying shoes pays for itself after about 15 sessions, instead of paying $6 every time to rent. So, on paper, this was the responsible, adult, money-saving decision. But if I'm being honest with you, and this channel is basically just me being honest with you, that's not really why I did it. I did it because renting shoes that 100 strangers have sweated into makes you feel like a visitor, and I wanted to feel like I belonged. That feeling is exactly how they get you. And there is a whole wall of these things, dozens of them, all slightly different, all with names like they're sports cars. A very nice, very fit person who works there comes over and asks me what my, quote, project style is. I have been climbing for 2 weeks. My project style is getting to the top before my forearms turn into concrete. I did not say that. I said, oh, you know, a bit of everything, which is a phrase you use when you know nothing about anything. And that was my first mistake, because I let them think I knew what I was doing. Now, if you Google what size climbing shoes, you will fall into a hole. Everyone online tells you the same thing: size down. Climbing shoes are supposed to be tight. A little pain means they're working. And there's a grain of truth in there. Remember in the very first video, I said rental shoes are meant to feel like a firm, slightly aggressive handshake for your foot? That part is real. A snug shoe grips the wall better than a loose one. But there's tight, and then there's what I did. I read size down, decided more is more, and went for a pair that were, I'm going to estimate, a full size too small. Because in my head, the tighter I suffered, the better I'd climb. Reader, that is not how feet work. Then there was the shape. Some shoes are flat and comfy, basically shaped like a foot. And some are what climbers call aggressive. They curve downward at the toe, like a banana, so all your power points into one tiny spot. They're built for steep, overhanging, advanced climbing. Guess which ones looked cooler on the wall? I bought the banana. $150 for the most aggressive, downturned, advanced climber shoe in the shop, to climb V2 slabs that are tilted slightly toward me. That is like buying a Formula One car to drive to the mailbox. The car is not the problem. The car is furious that you exist. So I lace up my brand new $150 shoes. I step onto the easiest wall in the building, and for about 90 seconds, I feel amazing. I feel like a professional. I feel like the crown from the thought bubble earlier. Then the burning starts. There's this specific climbing shoe pain called a hot spot, which is exactly what it sounds like. One point on your foot where a too small, too curved shoe concentrates all the pressure until it feels like you're standing on a coin that's on fire. I lasted 11 minutes before I was back on that bench, one shoe off, wiggling my toes. And it hit me. This wasn't going to break in. This wasn't a tough it out for a week situation. I had bought a shoe for a kind of climbing I can't do yet, in a size where I couldn't feel my own toes. I literally could not use them. So the next day, I did the walk of shame back to the shop. Now, I fully expected to be laughed out of the building. I walked up to the counter, holding the box like I was returning a puppy I couldn't handle, already rehearsing my apology. And the person just went, Oh yeah, we do 2-week exchanges, as long as you only wore them inside. Which, thank God, I had. 11 minutes on clean mats barely counts as worn. So I swapped the $150 banana for a flat, neutral, beginner-friendly shoe. And here's the part that still makes me laugh. The sensible shoe was cheaper, about $100. I got money back for finally buying the correct thing. I put them on, got on the same wall, and it was a completely different sport. No screaming toes, no coin of fire, just my foot, on a hold, quietly doing its job. Okay, so here's what I learned the mildly expensive way, and this is the closest thing to advice I'm allowed to give, because it's just me listing my own mistakes. 1. As a beginner, comfort beats cool every single time. Nobody at the gym is looking at your shoes. They're all busy being humbled by plastic, same as you. 2. Snug is not the same as crushing. Your toes should touch the end and be gently, slightly curled, not folded in half like origami. You want firm handshake, not trapped in a car door. 3. Flat, neutral shoes for a beginner. Save the banana for the day you're climbing on the underside of the ceiling, which for me is a day somewhere far into the future, if it exists at all. And a bonus one I got for free. Ask about the return policy before you pay. That one sentence turned my disaster into a mildly funny anecdote. So, was it worth it? Honestly, weirdly, yeah. The flat shoes I actually walked out with, I love them. They just work. I forget they're even on my feet, which, it turns out, is the entire point. 2 weeks in, I'm climbing a little better. Not because the shoe is fancy, but because it's finally not fighting me. And hey, small win. I can hold a full glass of water again without my arm shaking like a newborn deer, so week 2 me would be proud. My feet, this time, agree. I did celebrate with a burrito, though. Some traditions are non-negotiable. So that's the shoe saga. I spent $150, panicked, and got rescued by a return policy and a $100 shoe that was better in every single way. My ego is still my most expensive piece of gear, but at least this time, it turned out to be refundable. If you're about to buy your first pair, get something flat, get something snug but not evil, ask about exchanges before you pay, and do not, under any circumstances, buy the banana just because it looked cool on the wall. Learn from my foot. I'm figuring this whole thing out one mistake at a time, and if watching me do that is useful, or at least funny, hit subscribe and come along. Next time, I'm just going to try showing up a bit more regularly and see if the new shoes and I can finally stop falling off the same V3 every single week. See you on the mats. I'll be the one who can actually feel his toes.